Throwaway for obvious reasons, fam. So I, 32F, am wrecked. Just popped out my daughter, and my 34M husband Mark wasn't there. Not running late, not stuck in traffic. Dude straight up ghosted me during labor. We'd been having a rough go of it. Yeah, pre-baby stress, the usual, or so I thought. Looking back, the cracks were there, weren't they? He was distant, working late, blaming it on the dollars. I was stressed AF too, trying to balance my job, prepare for the baby, and deal with his increasing aloofness. I tried to be chill, to be understanding, maybe too understanding. Contractions started getting closer, a dull ache that intensified into sharp, breath-stealing pains. I called him, my voice trembling. In a meeting, be there ASAP. Okay, fine. Called my sister Sarah. She booked it over, bless her. Things escalated fast. Sis drove me to the hospital, weaving through traffic like a maniac. Calls to Mark? Nada. Just focused on pushing out a human, trying to breathe through the agony. Sister was a godsend, held my hand, wiped my brow, kept me from losing it completely. She even cracked a few jokes to try and distract me, bless her. Baby girl arrives, a tiny, screaming miracle, healthy and gorgeous. I was exhausted but overwhelmed with a love I'd never known. Waited for him, the clock ticking slowly, each second feeling like an eternity. Zilch. Called again. Sis tried too. Radio silence. Hours later, after the initial euphoria faded into a hollow ache, a text, sorry, had to deal with something. Be there soon. No details, no apology, just that. He showed up the next day, looking all sheepish, like he missed brunch, like he missed the birth of his own child. I lost it. Screaming, crying, demanding answers, my voice raw and hoarse. Important thing? He wouldn't elaborate, just work stuff, his eyes shifting away from mine. I called his office, ready to tear someone a new one. They weren't there. No sick leave, no nothing. Just poof. Told him he missed his daughter's birth. Dude looked genuinely shocked, a flicker of something that might have been guilt crossing his face. Like he forgot. He's been trying to talk to me since. I can't even look at him. Betrayed, abandoned, heartbroken, doesn't even begin to cover it. My sister, Sarah, is ready to throw hands and wants me to kick him to the curb. My family's supportive, but I'm clueless. How do you even begin to come back from this? How do you forgive someone for missing the birth of their own child? How do you forgive someone for making you feel so utterly alone in the most important moment of your life? Update 1. Y'all, I did not expect this many responses. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Seriously. The outpouring of support has been overwhelming, but also a stark reminder that I'm not alone in this kind of pain. A lot of you were asking for more deets about the important thing he was dealing with. He finally coughed it up after days of prodding, said he was dealing with a work issue, wouldn't elaborate, just kept saying it was sensitive and urgent. I called his office myself, not buying his story for a second. Turns out, he wasn't there. He hadn't called in sick or anything. He just wasn't there. Vanished. So I did a little digging. I know, violating his privacy, but I needed answers. Went through his phone. No calls, no texts, nothing sus at first glance. But then I checked his location history. And guess what? He was at a hotel, not far from the hospital. A freaking hotel. Not his office, not work, a hotel. Confronted him, my voice shaking with a mix of anger and disbelief. Phone was glitching, he says, his eyes darting around the room, avoiding my gaze. Was working from there, needed space. Then he tried to flip it on me, accusing me of invading his privacy and being hormonal, like my hormones were the problem here. My sister Sarah is still here, being a total rock star, a fierce protector, and she's been telling me he's showing his true colors, that this is who he really is. My parents are coming over tomorrow, haven't even broken the hotel news to them yet. I don't know how to. My world is crumbling around me. I'm trying to focus on my daughter, on her tiny fingers and her soft milky scent, but I can't stop thinking about what he did. And honestly, I'm starting to think he was having an affair. The hotel, the secrecy, the lack of a real explanation, it all adds up to one big red flag. A giant neon red flag. I need to figure out what to do. I'm scared, angry, and utterly lost. I feel like I'm standing on the edge of a cliff, and I don't know which way to fall. Update 2. My parents finally arrived today, their faces etched with worry. They were understandably shocked to see me so upset, to see the raw pain in my eyes. I laid it all out for them, including the whole hotel situation. My mom was livid, her voice trembling with barely contained rage. My dad was quiet, just taking it all in, his expression a mixture of sadness and disappointment. But he looked at me, his eyes filled with a quiet strength, and told me I deserved way better than this, that I deserved to be cherished and respected, not abandoned during the most vulnerable moment of my life. My husband, Mark, tried to weasel his way into a conversation with them to offer some pathetic excuse, but my mom wasn't having it. She told him he needed to give me space and time to process, that he had no right to demand anything from me after what he'd done. He actually looked defeated for a second, a flicker of something akin to shame crossing his face, which was a first. My parents and sister, Sarah, bless their hearts, went to the hotel. They talked to the manager and showed him a picture of my husband. The manager confirmed that he had a room booked under his name. He checked in the day I went into labor and checked out the next day. They wouldn't give any more information beyond that due to privacy reasons. But the confirmation was enough. I'm just numb. I don't know what to feel anymore. It's officially confirmed. He lied. He lied about work. He lied about where he was. He lied about everything. The foundation of my marriage is crumbling before my eyes. He finally admitted he was at the hotel, but the explanation was even more insulting. He said he needed time to think. He was overwhelmed by the baby in our relationship. He said he panicked. He's trying to play the victim now, saying he's sorry, as if that word could possibly erase the pain he caused. I told him I don't care about his pathetic excuses. He missed his daughter's birth. He missed the most important moment of our lives. He chose to run away instead of being there for me. And that's something I don't know if I can ever forgive. He's been begging for forgiveness, saying he loves me, that he wants to make it right. But his words ring hollow now, tainted by his lies. I don't know if I can even begin to believe him. I don't even know if I want to. I'm seriously considering separation at this point. My parents and sister, Sarah, are full on pushing for it. They say I need to protect myself and my daughter, to create a safe and stable environment for her, free from his deceit. I'm terrified of being alone, of facing the future as a single mother, but I'm also terrified of staying with someone who could do something like this to me, someone who could betray me so deeply. I need to talk to a lawyer. I need to figure out my options, like yesterday. I need to understand what my rights are and how I can protect my daughter. So I met with a lawyer. It was intense. She explained my rights and options, laying out the stark realities of my situation. She said I have a strong case for separation and potentially divorce, given the circumstances. She also said I could seek sole custody of my daughters to ensure her well-being and stability. I'm still trying to process everything, the weight of it all settling heavily on my chest. It's hard to wrap my head around the fact that my marriage, the one I thought would last a lifetime, might actually be over. I always thought we would be together forever, you know, through thick and thin, through the good times and the bad. But this feels irreparable. My husband, Mark, has been trying to talk to me, but I've been avoiding him like the plague. He's been sending me texts and emails, begging for another chance, filling my inbox with his empty apologies. He's even saying he'll go to therapy. Like, that's supposed to fix everything. Like, a few sessions can erase the pain and betrayal. I'm not ready to talk to him yet. I need time. I need space to breathe, to think, to try and make sense of this shattered reality. And then my sister Sarah, ever the investigator, found some interesting things on his social media. He has a second account that I didn't even know about, a secret online life I had no clue existed. And he's been following a lot of questionable accounts, accounts that suggest he might be involved in some kind of alternative lifestyle. I don't want to go into too many details, but it's definitely not something I'm comfortable with, and it raises even more questions about who this man really is. I confronted him about it, my voice trembling with a mixture of disgust and hurt. He denied everything, said it was just curiosity, trying to brush it off like it was nothing. Yeah, right. I don't believe him. I think he's been lying to me for a long time, and I'm starting to realize I don't even know the man I married. I feel like I've been living a lie, that the past few years have been a carefully constructed facade. I'm scared for my daughter. I don't want her to grow up with a father who lies and cheats, who prioritizes his own selfish desires over the well-being of his child. I want her to have a healthy, stable life filled with love and honesty. And right now, I don't see that with him. I'm heavily leaning towards separation. I need to protect myself and my daughter. I need to start a new chapter, even if it terrifies me. The thought of being alone is daunting, but the thought of staying with him is even more terrifying. I told my husband, Mark, I want a separation. He did not take it well. He got angry, his face contorted with rage, said I was overreacting, that I was letting my family influence me, trying to deflect the blame onto anyone but himself. He even had the audacity to say I was ruining our family, as if he hadn't already destroyed it beyond recognition. I told him he ruined our family when he missed our daughter's birth. I told him I don't trust him anymore. I told him I don't want to be with someone who lies and cheats on me, who treats me with such a profound lack of respect. He finally agreed to a separation, albeit begrudgingly, his jaw clenched, his eyes burning with resentment. He said he'll move out in a few days, but he had the nerve to ask if we could try to work things out eventually, like he deserved a second chance after everything he'd done. I told him I don't know, and honestly, right now I don't care. I've been packing up his things. It's surreal, a strange and unsettling task. It feels like I'm packing up a stranger's belongings, uh, not someone I thought I'd spend my life with, someone I shared a bed and a future with. My sister Sarah and my parents have been incredibly supportive through all of this. They've been helping with the baby, taking turns holding her, and with all the logistical nightmares of the separation. They've also been helping me process my emotions, which have been all over the place, a roller coaster of grief, anger, and a flicker of something that might be relief. I've been feeling a mix of anger, sadness, and relief. I'm angry that he betrayed me, that he shattered my trust and my dreams. I'm sad that my marriage is ending, that the life I envisioned is gone. But I'm also relieved that I'm finally taking control of my life again, that I'm making a choice for myself and my daughter's well being. I've been focusing on my daughter. She's been my rock through all of this, her tiny hand gripping mine, her innocent eyes reminding me of what truly matters. She's been giving me strength I didn't know I had, a fierce and unwavering love that pushes me forward. I'm starting to think about the future now, about what my life will look like without him. I'm still scared, the uncertainty looming large, but I'm also hopeful for the first time in a while. I know I can do this. I know I can build a happy life for myself and my daughter, even if it's not the life I originally planned, even if it's a life I have to build on my own. Update 3. He's officially moved out. The house feels weirdly empty without him, a hollow silence that echoes through the rooms. It's strange, because I'm used to him being here, even when things were strained between us, even when the air was thick with unspoken resentment. Now there's just nothing. I've been going through the rest of his things, trying to find any more clues, any answers to the questions that still haunt me about what he was actually doing at that hotel, about the lies he told. And what do you know? I found another bomb drop, another piece of the puzzle that paints an even darker picture. A receipt from a jewelry store. He bought a necklace, a really expensive necklace, a piece of jewelry that would have been a significant purchase. And it definitely wasn't for me. It wasn't anything I'd ever seen before. I confronted him about it, my voice trembling with a mixture of anger and disbelief. He tried to lie again, of course. He said it was for his mother, a last-minute gift he'd picked up. So I called his mother, not believing his pathetic excuse for a second. She said he hadn't given her any jewelry, and in fact, she hadn't even seen him in weeks. The lies just keep piling up. He lied, again and again and again. I'm done. I'm completely done. I don't want to talk to him anymore. I don't want to see him. I don't want to hear any more of his pathetic excuses, his attempts to manipulate and deceive me. I've blocked his number and his email. I've told him to communicate solely through my lawyer from now on. I can't bear to hear his voice or read his words anymore. I've been focusing on myself and my daughter, trying to heal from the deep wounds he inflicted. I've been going for walks, breathing in the fresh air, reading books, and spending time with my friends and family, surrounding myself with love and support. I've also been going to therapy, which has been incredibly helpful. It's been helping me process my emotions, the grief, the anger, the betrayal, and develop coping mechanisms to deal with everything. My therapist says I'm strong and resilient, that I have an inner strength I haven't fully tapped into yet. And honestly, I'm starting to believe her. I'm starting to feel more confident and self assured. I'm starting to believe that I can build a happy life for myself and my daughter, a life filled with honesty and respect, even if it's not the life I expected, even if it's a life I have to create on my own. I'm still scared. The future is uncertain, but I'm also hopeful. I know I can do this. I have to. Update 4. The lawyer has officially served him with the separation papers. He reacted exactly as expected, with anger and denial, his pride wounded, his ego bruised. He called me repeatedly, even after I made it crystal clear that I didn't want any direct contact with him. He even attempted to come to the house, but my sister and parents were here, a united front, and they turned him away, refusing to let him disrupt my peace. He's now sent a barrage of emails filled with apologies and empty promises to change, desperate attempts to win me back. He claims he's in therapy, that he's suddenly realized the error of his ways, that he's a changed man. He even sent pictures of himself with what appears to be a therapist. Like, that's supposed to convince me, as if a few staged photos could erase the pain he's caused. I'm not buying any of it. I've seen this pattern before. He'll be remorseful for a short period, just long enough to try and manipulate me, and then he'll inevitably revert to his old behaviors, his selfishness and deceit. I've forwarded all his communications directly to my lawyer, making sure every manipulative word is documented. I've made it crystal clear that I want all contact to go through her from now on. I refuse to be drawn back into his web of lies. I've also been dealing with the logistics of being a single parent, which is honestly way more challenging than I ever imagined. The sheer exhaustion of caring for a newborn while navigating legal battles and emotional turmoil is overwhelming. But I'm managing somehow. My sister and parents have been invaluable, my lifeline in this storm. They've helped with everything from childcare to grocery shopping, from late night feedings to comforting my tears. I honestly don't know what I'd do without them. I've started looking into childcare options, trying to find a reliable and trustworthy caregiver. I need to figure out how I'm going to balance work and motherhood, how I'm going to provide for my daughter and give her the attention she deserves, which feels like an impossible task right now. I've also started thinking about my finances, the stark reality of being a single income household settling in. The separation has been a huge financial strain, as expected, with legal fees and the cost of setting up a new life. I'm trying to create a budget to figure out how to make ends meet, which is stressful, to say the least. I'm feeling overwhelmed, the weight of responsibility heavy on my shoulders, but I'm also feeling determined. I'm determined to build a stable and happy life for my daughter and myself, even if it's the hardest thing I've ever done, even if it means sacrificing my own comfort and needs. Update 5. The divorce proceedings have officially begun, the legal wheels turning slowly but surely. He's contesting the separation, claiming he wants to reconcile, like he can just erase everything that's happened. He's also demanding joint custody of our daughter, which is honestly laughable at this point, given his complete disregard for her well being. My lawyer says we have a strong case for sole custody, given his behavior, his abandonment during labor, his lies, and his overall lack of responsibility. She's advised me to document everything, every missed call, every inappropriate message, every instance where he's shown a lack of concern for our daughter's well being, to build a solid case against him. I've been keeping a detailed journal of everything, every interaction, every conversation, every emotion. It's been cathartic, a way to process my pain, but also heartbreaking to read through the entries and be reminded of how much he's hurt me, how deeply he's betrayed my trust. He's been trying to manipulate me using guilt and emotional blackmail, playing on my vulnerabilities. He's been saying he's a changed man, that he deserves another chance, that I'm ruining his life. He's even been trying to make me feel guilty for ruining our family, as if I were the one who walked away during my labor. It's just wow. The audacity is astounding. I'm not falling for it. I've learned my lesson. I'm not going to let him manipulate me anymore. I'm not going to let him dictate my life or the life of my daughter. I've been focusing on my daughter, her laughter, and her innocent smiles, my constant reminder of what truly matters. She's growing so fast, changing every day, and she's my absolute priority right now. I've also been focusing on my own well being, which I neglected for far too long. I've been going to yoga and meditation classes, finding moments of peace amidst the chaos, which have been surprisingly helpful in managing my stress and anxiety. I've been rediscovering myself, finding strength I didn't know I had. I'm starting to feel stronger and more confident, more like the woman I was before he shattered my world. I'm starting to believe in myself again, which is something I haven't been able to do in a long time. Update 6. The court hearing for temporary custody has been set, the date looming like a dark cloud. My lawyer says it's important that I present a calm and composed demeanor in court, that I show the judge I am a responsible and capable mother. She's also advised me to bring witnesses, including my sister and parents, who can attest to his behavior and his lack of regard for our daughter's well being. He's been ramping up his efforts to contact me, his desperation growing with each passing day. He's been sending me flowers and gifts, trying to win me back with superficial gestures. He's even shown up at my work, trying to talk to me, which is completely inappropriate and frankly terrifying. I've told him repeatedly that I don't want any contact with him. I've told him to communicate solely through my lawyer from now on. I've made it clear that I will not be swayed by his empty promises or his manipulative tactics. I'm feeling incredibly anxious about the upcoming court hearing, the weight of the situation pressing down on me, but I'm also feeling prepared. I've been working closely with my lawyer, gathering evidence, and I'm confident that we have a strong case. I've been focusing on my daughter, trying to shield her from all the stress and drama as much as possible. I want her to have a happy and stable childhood filled with love and security, even if it's not the one I originally envisioned. I've also been focusing on my support system, the people who have been my rock through all of this. My friends and family have been absolutely amazing. Their unwavering support, a constant source of strength. They've been there for me every step of the way, and I honestly don't know what I'd do without them. I'm starting to see a glimmer of light at the end of this tunnel, a sense of hope amidst the darkness. I know this is an incredibly difficult time, but I also know that I'll get through it. I have to, for my daughter and for myself. Update 7. The temporary custody hearing went as well as it could have given the circumstances. My lawyer presented a strong case, laying out his pattern of lies and abandonment. My witnesses were incredibly credible, their testimonies painting a clear picture of his unreliability. He tried to paint himself as the victim, claiming I was being unreasonable and trying to alienate him from our daughter, but the judge, thankfully, saw right through his lies. The judge granted me temporary sole custody, with supervised visitation for him, recognizing his unsuitability as a primary caregiver. He was absolutely furious, his face contorted with rage. He stormed out of the courtroom, yelling and cursing, which honestly just further proved how unfit he is. I felt a mix of relief and utter exhaustion, the emotional toll of the hearing weighing heavily on me. Relief that the judge saw through his BS, but also exhaustion from the constant battle. He's now threatening to appeal the decision because of course he is, because he refuses to accept responsibility for his actions. My lawyer says he has the right to do so, but she's confident that the original ruling will stand, given the strength of our evidence. I'm trying to focus on my daughter and move forward with our lives to create a sense of normalcy and stability for her. I'm trying to create a peaceful and stable environment for her, which is all she deserves, a refuge from the chaos he created. I've started attending a support group for single mothers, finding solace and understanding in the company of women who have walked a similar path. It's been incredibly helpful, a reminder that I'm not alone in this struggle. It's been great to connect with other women who are going through similar experiences and understand what I'm going through. I'm also starting to think about my future, about what I want for myself and my daughter now that my life has taken this unexpected turn. I'm starting to envision a new chapter in my life, a life free from his lies and manipulation. And while it's scary, it's also kind of exciting, a chance to rebuild on my own terms. He filed an appeal because this saga just never ends. The process is dragging on, a slow, agonizing crawl, and I am absolutely exhausted, both physically and emotionally. My lawyer is still confident, but the waiting game is a special kind of torture, a constant reminder of the battle I'm fighting. And just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, a mutual acquaintance, someone I hadn't spoken to in months, dropped a bombshell. Remember that expensive necklace? Turns out it wasn't for his mom. Surprise, surprise. It was for a coworker he's been seeing for months, a calculated, long-term affair that began long before my daughter was born. This wasn't a one-time drunken mistake, a moment of weakness. This was a deliberate act of betrayal, a calculated deception. I am beyond angry. I am incandescent with rage, a burning fury that threatens to consume me. He has been lying to me for months, maybe years. I feel like my entire marriage was a lie, built on a foundation of his deceit. The man I loved, the man I thought I knew, was a complete fabrication. He has continued to try and contact me, saying he wants to explain, as if any explanation could possibly justify his actions. I refuse to see him. I refuse to give him the satisfaction. I refuse to let him manipulate me any further. My daughter is growing so quickly, and she's the only bright spot in all of this, the one source of pure, unadulterated joy in my life. I am trying to focus on her and not on him, but it's a constant battle, a daily struggle to push the anger and hurt aside and be present for her. I've started a new job, a fresh start in more ways than one, which has been challenging, but it gives me something to focus on besides this whole mess. I am slowly but surely building a new life for us, one brick at a time, a life that's independent of him and his lies. I am still in therapy, and it is helping. I am learning to heal, to rebuild my shattered trust, and to believe that I deserve better. I am learning to forgive myself for believing his lies and to move forward with strength and resilience. I know that I will be okay. I know that I am strong. I know that my daughter and I will have a happy and fulfilling life, even if it's not the one I originally planned, even if it's a life I have to build on my own. Update 8. The appeal hearing was scheduled and then postponed, because of course it was. The legal process is a slow, agonizing crawl designed to wear you down, and it feels like he's deliberately trying to drag this out to inflict as much pain and suffering as possible. I've been dealing with the fallout of the affair revelation. Mutual friends and acquaintances have been reaching out, some with genuine sympathy, offering their support, others with invasive curiosity and thinly veiled gossip, eager for the sordid details. It's been a strange mix of support and unwanted attention, a reminder that my personal pain has become public spectacle. I've made it crystal clear that I don't want to discuss the sordid details of the affair. I'm trying to protect my privacy and, more importantly, my daughter's. I refuse to let his betrayal become a source of gossip and speculation. He's been sending me emails trying to justify his actions, attempting to rewrite history to make himself the victim. He claims he was unhappy in our marriage, that I was distant and unsupportive, as if my supposed failings justify his infidelity. He's trying to shift the blame to make me responsible for his choices. I've forwarded all the emails directly to my lawyer. I'm not engaging. I'm not giving him the satisfaction of a response. I refuse to participate in his twisted narrative. My daughter is thriving, her innocent joy a constant reminder of what truly matters. She's a happy, curious little girl, and she's my anchor in this storm, the one constant source of light in my life. I've started taking a parenting class, which has been surprisingly helpful. It's been great to connect with other single parents, to share experiences, and learn new strategies for raising a child on my own. I've also been focusing on my own well-being, which I neglected for far too long. I've been going to the gym regularly, releasing my anger and frustration through physical exertion, practicing mindfulness, finding moments of peace in the chaos, and spending time in nature, reconnecting with the beauty of the world around me. I'm starting to feel more grounded, more centered. I'm starting to feel like I'm building a solid foundation for my new life, one that's free from his lies and manipulation, a life built on honesty and integrity. Update 9. The appeal hearing finally took place. The judge listened to both sides, reviewed the evidence, and upheld the original ruling: sole custody for me, supervised visitation for him. Justice, however delayed, was finally served. He was predictably furious, his rage a familiar and unwelcome presence. He threatened to take me back to court, to fight me every step of the way. his words empty threats fueled by his inflated ego. My lawyer told me to ignore him, that he's just trying to intimidate me, to exert control where he no longer has any. I felt a massive wave of relief wash over me, a physical sensation of lightness. It was like a weight had been lifted from my shoulders, the burden of his lies and manipulation finally lifted. He has been making the supervised visitations a living hell, a constant source of stress and anxiety. He shows up late, tries to deviate from the agreed upon schedule, and acts dismissive of the supervisor, his every action a subtle act of defiance. I am told these incidents are being meticulously recorded and will be used against him if he tries to fight for more visitation in the future. My daughter is starting to recognize him, but she's still too young to understand the complexity of the situation. I try to make her visitations as comfortable as possible for her, even though they make my skin crawl, even though the sight of him fills me with a cold dread. I've been focusing on building a strong support network, surrounding myself with people who love and support me. My friends and family have been amazing, but I've also been actively connecting with new people, expanding my circle of support. Um, I've joined a book club and a hiking group, finding connection and community in unexpected places, which has been surprisingly therapeutic. I've been learning to enjoy my own company again, to find joy in solitude. I've been rediscovering my hobbies and interests, things I put aside during my marriage, things that remind me of who I am outside of being a wife and a mother. I'm starting to feel like I'm finally healing, that the wounds are slowly starting to close. I'm starting to feel like I'm moving on, and it feels damn good. Update 10. He's filed another motion, this time for unsupervised visitation. His audacity seemingly limitless. My lawyer says it's a long shot given his track record, but we still need to prepare for the hearing to fight for my daughter's safety and well being. I've been meticulously gathering evidence, documenting every instance of his inappropriate behavior during the supervised visits. I've been keeping a detailed journal of his interactions with our daughter, no matter how small, to build an irrefutable case against him. My daughter is growing and developing so rapidly, her personality blossoming before my eyes. She brings me so much joy, her laughter a balm to my wounded soul, and I am grateful for every moment with her. I've been taking a night class at the local community college, trying to expand my skills and open up new career opportunities. I'm determined to build a secure future for us, to provide for her, and give her the best possible life. I've also been focusing on self care, which is non negotiable at this point. I've been getting regular massages, releasing the tension and stress that is built up in my body, taking long baths, finding moments of peace and tranquility, and practicing yoga, connecting with my body and my breath. I'm prioritizing my mental and physical health, and it's making a world of difference. I'm starting to feel more confident and self assured, more like the woman I was before he tried to break me. I'm starting to feel like I'm finally taking back control of my life, that I am the architect of my own destiny. Update 11. The hearing for unsupervised visitation went exactly as expected. The judge denied his motion, recognizing his continued pattern of irresponsible and inappropriate behavior. He was once again angry and indignant, throwing a tantrum in the courtroom, his outburst further evidence of his instability. He's now threatening to take me to court for child support, claiming I'm making him pay too much. His greed and selfishness seemingly boundless. My lawyer says it's a frivolous claim, but we still need to respond and fight it to protect my daughter's financial security. I've been focusing on my daughter's well being, trying to create a stable and loving environment for her, despite the constant drama he stirs up. I am determined to shield her from his negativity and to give her a childhood filled with love and security. I've also been focusing on my own personal growth, continuing my journey of healing and self discovery. I've been going to therapy, processing the trauma and building resilience, reading self help books, learning new strategies for coping and thriving, and practicing mindfulness, finding moments of peace and gratitude in the present moment. I'm determined to heal and become the best version of myself and a strong and independent woman who can provide a loving and stable home for my daughter. I'm starting to feel like I'm finally breaking free from the past, that the chains of his manipulation are loosening. I'm starting to feel like I'm building a brighter future for us, one that's full of love, laughter, and genuine happiness, a future where my daughter and I can thrive. Update 12. The child support issue was finally resolved. The judge upheld the original support order and ordered him to pay my legal fees for the frivolous motion he filed, a small victory in a long and arduous battle. He has finally stopped contacting me. The silence is deafening, but also incredibly peaceful, a welcome respite from the constant drama and manipulation. I've been focusing on my daughter and my own healing, creating a life filled with joy and love. I've been building a beautiful life for us, a life where we are safe and secure, surrounded by love and support. I've started dating again, a slow and cautious process. It's been a journey of rediscovering myself, learning to trust again, and finding joy in connection. I've met some wonderful people, individuals who value honesty and respect, and I'm learning to trust again, cautiously, to open my heart to the possibility of love. I've learned a lot from this experience, a painful but transformative journey. I've learned about my own strength and resilience, my ability to overcome adversity and rebuild my life. I've learned about the importance of setting boundaries and protecting myself and my daughter from toxic influences. I've learned that I deserve to be happy, that I am worthy of love and respect. I've learned that I can create a happy life for myself and my daughter, even if it's not the life I originally envisioned, even if it's a life I have to build on my own. Thank you to everyone who has followed my story and offered support. Your words have meant the world to me, a lifeline in the darkness. I am finally moving forward, and I am genuinely happy. A happiness born from resilience, self discovery, and the unwavering love for my daughter. I'm starting a new chapter, a chapter filled with hope and the promise of a brighter future. If you thought that was crazy, hit that like button and subscribe for more wild stories. And if you didn't quite enjoy it, feel free to hit the dislike. Your feedback means a lot. Drop a comment below and let me know what you think, or share your own experiences. And don't forget to check out my other videos for more insane tales. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.